the fray. The automatons march, they're cold in their steel. They bring their war machines, but we bring the zeal. We call the eagle strike, light tears through the night. We're the ones who remind them that freedom fights. So dive into fire, let the skies ignite. We're the hell divers, defenders of the right. Through the bolts and lasers, we'll break their hold. The anthem of the fearless, our story is bold.
Evening's Freedom's Resistance Fighters? That was Dive Into Fire by FM Helldiver Radio, whose 2-month absence has been keenly felt. I really miss that guy. He made such amazing audible treats, especially that tribute song to me, which I often play when I start feeling a little down.
Take that, depression!
The first thing on the news agenda for tonight is the constant warfare taking place on Claorell. Normally, against such a massive bot-occupying force, a sane army would pack up their stuff and go home. But Helldivers never give up, never surrender, and we are all absolutely insane. Dives continue on the war-torn moon in a desperate attempt to wrest control back from the collective, and it looks like they just might pull it off. With 38 hours left on the clock, Claorell's liberation is forecast within 34 hours, so it's going to be close. However, the DSSE is on standby, lending what aid it can, and I believe in this shining symbol of democracy. So far, it's 4-0 against the Automaton Collective, and it's looking to net near impossible win number 5. The southern frontier cannot report similar results, however, and the squids have just been beating the holy helldiver out of us down yonder. Out of the 8 required defenses set by High Command, we have been able to acquire 2. Oof. Well, the divers made their choice, and while Moradesh may be sacrificed, the bots will not lay claim to the Deep Mantle Forge complex. In other news, the 104th Wolf Divers and the Gunvald Corporation have hammered out an agreement for peaceful co-ownership of the planet of Dumatir. Apparently, Gunvald was simply unaware of the territorial claims laid by the wolves when the purchase was made, and the wolves themselves were somewhat, incensed with that their planet had been sold out from under them without their knowledge. Really, this just boils down to a lack of communication. It can be hard to tell who owns what ground out here, especially since there are so many corporations and factions now, and even I haven't met them all. When asked to provide proof of their claims, one of the pieces of evidence submitted came from a comment on one of my broadcasts, surprisingly, but I don't think that war was ever really a possibility here. Both Jarl Quicksilver and the elusive Gunvald director have always been even-tempered gentlemen and have led their factions with wisdom and virtue. They were able to work out an agreement that served everyone in the end. Originally, the Gunvald Corporation desired the planet so that they could turn it into an agricultural breadbasket, which is still very much within the realms of possibility under this new deal. Not many people know this, but the ancient Vikings of the Norwegian peninsula of Super Earth were responsible for what many call an agricultural revolution back in their day. Farming and working the land is just as much a part of Viking life as raiding and pillaging are. Don't expect me to get down there in the dirt with you boys. I left Super Earth specifically so that I wouldn't have to do farming work ever again. Seriously, every year it just became more and more gross. And don't even get me started on how bad compost smelled. The point is, Dumatir is now duly governed and protected by both the Gunvald Corporation and the Wolf Divers. So any would-be attackers have their choice of being ventilated by Gunvald's wall of guns defenses, or getting savagely mauled to death in melee combat by the wolves. I do believe that this planet is nearing a golden age of prosperity. Recently, a wartime census has been completed with statistics accurate as of January 31st of this year, with a grand total of 280 billion dead aliens and 38.5 million friendly Kyr kills. That might sound like a lot and sound really bad, but that's only 0.01375% compared to enemy kills. Well and truly, Helldivers are a machine that takes effort and precision and turns it into dead bad guys. To put it another way, for every 7,272 dead aliens, one Helldiver was killed by accident. And honestly, those are some pretty darn good numbers. 1,500,000,000 kg bombs have been dropped so far, with 3.7 billion eagles deployed. That means 1 out of 4 eagles were dropping a 500 kg. And personally, it's one of my favorites too. No matter what build you're running, taking a few 500 kgs with you is never a bad idea. And if Helldivers have a signature move, the 500 kg would be that. 4.9 million friendly fire kills were due to deployed SEAF mines, probably from those battle days when the mines buried themselves deep enough that they were invisible to the naked eye, and then High Command thought it was a good idea to give everyone free incendiary mines during the middle of all that. But 275 million helps were delivered. Isn't that nice? That's been Liberty's latest with me, Pandera the Radio Angel. We might not be able to stop the squids, but we can keep the bots from claiming Claorell. If we can't hold that, we can wire the Deep Mantle Forge complex to blow, so they get nothing for their efforts. If you're not willing to blow up your own position while cackling like an absolute lunatic, you're not willing to win. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for Super Earth.